Fear the unknown. The house of Israel was chose, but it is not a home. Got traditions in the way of clearing out our soul. House is not a home. House full of frozen treasures, ungrateful. House of broken promises, unfaithful. House ain't been the same since the stolen names. Look in the mirror and don't recognize the faces. House is not a home.
This shall not end. That your curse follows you. Followed you here to our land, and will follow you without escape into the next. You had a covenant, a most sacred bond that you failed to uphold. You failed him.
And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Yahuwah. The so-called African Americans are in fact the descendants of the Israelites, and this is the reason that we have been scattered to the four corners of the earth and into the lands of those who hate us. It is because of our ancestors who broke the Father's covenant, the commandments, and these commandments are listed in the first 5 books of the Bible. Do you ever wonder why everyone wants to do away with the Old Testament? For this reason, the curses of Leviticus chapter 26 and Deut. 28 have stuck to us like glue. We have been oppressed by the Europeans for over 500 years, and during this time, we have lost our language, our culture, and more importantly, our identity.
So my question is, why are black people so oppressed? Why that group of people is so oppressed? What is going on to where they're enslaved, and then they're oppressed, and then they have no rights, and then they have the cops come up with this scheme to get them locked up by privatizing the jails, and then using rap music in order to get them all riled up and put into jail, and then the cops went.
I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. It's not a coincidence that the so-called African Americans are the most oppressed, disrespected, and unfairly treated people in America. I want you to know that there is a sound and biblical reason for the injustice that has been placed upon us and our ancestors for our 400 plus years that we've been here in America. But in order to understand this, we must first understand biblical prophecies.
On even further to say this, that the slave trade is actually connected to Deut. 28, because the majority of the slaves that were brought to the Caribbean islands and brought to the Americas were Ibu people, were people of Hebrew and Hebraic Israelite descent, if you will. And so if you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, it matches perfectly what happened to the Hebrew slaves, the black Hebrew slaves, during the slave trade.
As a result of slavery and having our identities and history stripped away from us, many of us have read the Bible our entire lives and still haven't been able to understand who and what the Bible prophecies are referring to. Therefore, we read the Bible with a distorted perspective, thinking that what is written applies to everyone. But as you read the Bible, if you insert the so-called black people, you'll find out that the Bible was written by Hebrew Israelites for Hebrew Israelites. In other words, written by us for us. With that in mind, we should now be able to understand why there is so much confusion going on inside of the religious communities. It is because they're using our ancestors' writings as their source of faith. You see, the Bible is the so-called black people's history book, and the scriptures only discuss the faith of the Hebrew Israelites, However, being an Israelite is not a religion, it's our nationality. We are Hebrews because we came from the bloodline of Abraham, who was a Hebrew. And we are Israelites because our forefathers are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Jacob, who was the first Israelite. This makes us Hebrew Israelites. So this title is not a religion for us. It's our identity. We are the children of Israel, and the writings in the Bible were written to inform us and instruct us on how we are supposed to live as Yahuwah's chosen people. But as a result of our ancestors' disobedience, they were removed from their land and sent into several different captivities. If you've read the Bible and understand the stories in chronological order, then you must understand all the captivities that the Israelites went into. There was the Babylonian, the Assyrian, the Greek, Roman, Arabian, African, and now American captivity. And let's not omit that the Israelites are also scattered to the four corners of the earth. Deut. 28 and 32 reads, Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look, and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Verse 41, Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. In regards to the Bible prophecy of being carried away to the Amerikkas on slave ships, Moses also foretold a number of physical curses that would be placed upon the Israelites. They're even showing us in movies who we are as it relates to the curses of Deut. 28.
This is from the TV show Them. It's a 2021 show, brand new. Listen to what they say. Listen to what they say about you, who you are. They know who you are. Watch them pronounce the curses.
Lord will afflict you with blindness
Yep. There you go.
and confusion of
Nobody
mind.
has to fist these curses.
He will exile you to a land unknown to your ancestors. You shall
I'm doing this in
mock
3 parts.
and cursed among
It's
nations.
a lot of
And
information
your
in this
sons
TV show.
and daughters will each and all be led away into captivity.
Look how they did her.
Still wondering how so-called black people know that we are the chosen people? The curses of Deut. 28 have stuck to the so-called black people like glue. Deut. 28 and 43, The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
You know why you can't be a racist? You don't own a damn thing white people need in order to live. True. White people need you for nothing, but you need them. Whose schools our kids go to? Theirs. True. Our money in whose banks? Theirs. Who's building the houses we need to rent and buy? Them. Who's shipping our stuff around the world that we need to order to live? Them. You follow me? They don't need us. We need them for everything. We are as dependent on white people today as we was when slavery ended 157 years ago.
Let's take a look at some more of these curses. This is still Deuteronomy chapter 28, starting at verse 59. Then Yahuwah will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long countenance, and sore sickness, and of long countenance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law. Them will Yahuwah bring upon thee until thou be destroyed, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou would not obey the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, starting at verse 59 through 61, it states that Yahuwah will bring upon us and our descendants extraordinary plagues and great and prolonged plagues and serious sickness. Moreover, Yahuwah said that he will bring back on us the diseases of Egypt, in which we were afraid of, and they shall cling to us, also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of the law, will Yahuwah bring upon us until we are destroyed. Now let's think about this, family. There seems to be a church near every black neighborhood, yet the so-called black people are still very ill. You see, they're getting paid to intentionally not teach us to keep our Father's laws, statutes, and commandments. Now remember, this is the whole reason that we're in the situation that we're in now under these curses. So the longer we stay in sin, we will remain ill, because Yahuwah said when we turn back to him, he'll turn back to us. And we definitely will turn back to our Elohim. It is prophesied in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. But that's another thing that the church will not teach. John gave us the most basic definition of what sin is. It is the transgression of Yahuwah's laws. But they will not teach us to get back to our Father's laws in these churches. If you haven't figured this out yet, that this is why the so-called black people are destroyed, I suggest you continue to pray, fast, and ask for discernment. As we are the leading nation in infant deaths, heart disease, cancer, strokes, diabetes, AIDS, sickle cell anemia, beta thalassemia, glucose 6-phosphate deficiency disease, septicemia, and hypertension. Those diseases are at the top of the list amongst other unknown diseases. This is why it's imperative that we get back to our Elohim's laws, statutes, and commandments. But on a positive note, I want to end this way. We will return to our Father, as per Deuteronomy 30. I'm going to leave you with another video clip, because these heathens know that time is nigh, as our redemption continues to draw nigh, and the yokes will be broken from our necks. This concludes my video. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you all safe in this dark hour. Shalom.
God don't mean people to own people, Gideon. Our time is near. You tried to destroy my family, but you can't. You tried to destroy my people, but you won't. God has shown me the future, and my people are free. My people are free.
Bibles open, untold stories that can't go unnoticed. Enoch saw everything, they don't want you to know it. Facts, they ripped it out, we trying to bring it back. Yeah, like bench seats in a Cadillac.